This is Hannah. She lived in a time when having children was seen as a great blessing. But there was one big problem. Hannah couldn't have any. She was married to a man named Elkanah, who loved her very much. But Elkanah had another wife, Peninnah, who had many children. And Peninnah, well, let's just say she wasn't very kind to Hannah. She teased Hannah, reminding her over and over that she had no children. Every year, Elkanah's family would travel to the temple in Shiloh to worship God and offer sacrifices. But instead of being a time of joy, this trip was painful for Hannah. One year, after another round of Peninnah's harsh words, Hannah couldn't take it anymore. She ran to the temple, fell to her knees, and poured out her heart to God.
Lord Almighty, look at me, your servant. See my trouble and remember me. If you give me a son, I promise to give him back to you. He will serve you all his life and never have his hair cut.
Excuse me, Mum. Are you drunk?
No, sir. I'm not drunk. I'm just deeply troubled and desperate. I have been praying to God like this because I am so miserable.
Go in peace. May God answer your prayer.
And something amazing happened. When Hannah left the temple that day, she felt different and ate some food. She wasn't sad anymore. She believed that God had heard her. God answered Hannah's prayer. She gave birth to a baby boy and named him Samuel, which means God has heard. Hannah could have held on to Samuel, but she remembered her promise.
This is the son I prayed for, and now I give him back to the Lord.
It must have been so hard to leave her son, but Hannah trusted God. She knew Samuel's life had a special purpose. Instead of feeling sad, Hannah praised God. She sang a beautiful prayer about how God lifts up the weak, humbles the proud, and blesses those who trust him. Samuel grew up to be one of the greatest prophets in Israel's history. And it all started with a prayer from a woman who trusted God completely. So, what can we learn from Hannah's story? 1. God hears our prayers. Even when we feel forgotten, God is listening. 2. Faith requires patience. Hannah waited for years before her prayer was answered. 3. Keep your promises. Hannah gave back to God what he had given her. 4. Be thankful. Instead of complaining, Hannah worshiped God with joy. No matter what you're going through, God hears you. Keep praying, keep trusting. And like Hannah, you'll see how God can turn sorrow into joy. The end.